Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox, and good morning on this wonderful Friday morning. It's a bit drizzly and cold outside. I hope it improves for the weekend. And if you are one of those who are going to work today, may the hours pass quickly and may your weekend begin. We're going to have a look here at, of course, a hypocrisy deep in the heart of the SNP Greens, while they are continually trying to put barriers up to private car usage with low traffic zones, with low emission zones, with making it generally much harder to get about by car. This is not something that will affect the ministers of that particular government. Both SNP and Greens have shown record usage of chauffeur-driven limousines. And this isn't just necessarily limited, of course, to official business. I can understand official use. I get that. That's not an issue. But when it is simply ferrying people from home to office, or indeed from one home to another home, it seems completely wrong. And it's now hit sort of record amounts of mileage accrued up on this particular venture. And of course, the cost to the public purse. Everything should be repaid. Unless it's official business, they should be billed for it. Not just for the fuel use, but the driver's time, the maintenance, the wear and tear, that sort of thing. And then when they see the bills that they have to pay themselves, it may put things in a different light for them. Anyway, we'll take a look at this article, see what's going on, see how much they have wasted. And trust me, it's a lot of money. Anyway, here goes. So, hypocritical SNP Green ministers blasted as cost of taxpayer-funded limos skyrockets to the highest in 5 years. Because of course it is. These people are taking the piss, to put it blankly. They've got this opportunity to use it. It should be used exclusively for official business, and it isn't. Hamza Yousaf's government has splashed out more than £1.3 million on its ministerial car service, with some ministers being chauffeured from their homes to Holyrood, and 12 of them being given taxpayer-funded lifts from Nicola Sturgeon's farewell party in Edinburgh, at the Gilly Do, for those who want to know. Why are the taxpayers paying a taxi service when this is not official business? She's sitting there in the back. I'm surprised she's not waving like that, like the bloody Queen. If it's official business, fine. And even then, query. I mean, the trains are cheaper, surely. But if it's private usage, ferry to and from work is not classed as official business. You get to work under your own steam, and that should be. They should be paying for this. They should be made to pay for this. So the Scottish Government has been blasted after the cost of its ministerial car service skyrocketed to its most expensive for 5 years. Hamza Yousaf and his ministers can be chauffeured around the country to attend government business. Well, why not get the train up to, say, if you've got to go to Inverness, get the train up to Inverness and have a hire car waiting for you? Or is that just not grand enough for these people? If they go on the train, they might meet normal people. They don't want that. They don't want to be reminded of reality, do they? Some of the cabinet and their underlings have previously been accused of misusing this taxpayer-funded service by using it to travel between homes or between their properties. In other words, between one home and another home, or between home and work. A row broke out after 12 of them were driven home from Nicola Sturgeon's leaving do at the Gilly Do pub in Edinburgh on March the 23rd at great expense. And yet, who do these people think they are? Now, the Scottish Daily Express can reveal through freedom of information legislation that the cost of operating a fleet of 29 vehicles has hit the highest cost in 5 years. A total of £1,377,987 was spent in just 1 year, 22-23. This is more than £300,000 increase in the previous year, because the ones that are in now are going woohoo, doubles and trebles all round. We have hit the gravy train. Make a change if they use any kind of train, wouldn't it? The previous high figure was in 2019-20, when 1,344,978 was spent on ferrying ministers around the country, with the costs now at pre-pandemic levels again. But questions have been raised. about whether this is value for money, especially during a cost of living crisis. It's never value for money. However, it can be excused if it's official business where necessary. But if it's just ferrying people around because they want to go to their homes or between one house and another, or they want to go down the pub and need a lift back, then no, that is not, and clearly not, right, and they should be forced to pay it. Scottish Conservative Shadow Transport Minister, Graham Simpson, that's him there, said it is the height of hypocrisy for SNP Greens to lecture the rest of us on cutting down car use when they are increasing the usage of their ministerial fleet, including for entirely inappropriate and personal purposes, such as getting home from the pub. In the midst of a cost of living crisis, ministers should also be mindful of the stretched public finances and seek to reduce unnecessary expense. Yeah, I mean, I think if they need to travel, you give them a standard fare rail price and give them that, and they can buy the standard fare ticket. And if they want to upgrade to first class, they do so out of their own pocket. The full cost of the ministerial service comes from fuel, vehicle maintenance, staffing, private hire and travel and subsistence. The highest expense is on drivers, with just over £1 million being spent on staff to ferry about ministers in the last financial year. I bet it would have been cheaper just to sort of hire taxis, hire cars, or give them a bus fare, The government's fleet of cars are expensive as well, with the total cost of them accumulating to over £500,000. They own 3 Kia EV6s, which are worth about £44,000 each, 1 Kia e-Niro, £33,000, and 8 Kia Optimas, worth £22,000. Why are they going for Kias? They seem to have a Kia fixation. Elon Musk will be thanking the SNP executive as they own 10 of his Tesla Model 3s, which retail at £42,000 each. The service also owns 1 Volvo S90 worth £36,000 and 8 Volvo V90s worth £38,000. All of these vehicles are electric, which means they are limited range, which means if you want to go all the way up to Inverness and back, you ain't going to do that on a single charge. A total of 12 government ministers used the ministerial service for a lift back from Sturgeon's pub do in Edinburgh, despite this not being able to do anything to do with government business. So it seems that they can organise a piss-up. Records published online show that SNP ministers, including Yousaf and his Deputy First Minister Shona Robertson, were driven to private addresses following the boozy knees up. And you have to ask what's a good boy like Hamza Yousaf doing at a boozy knees up? Sipping the orange juice, I'm sure. Other culprits were current Health Secretary Michael Matheson, Equalities Chief Christina McKelvey, her husband Keith Brown, Alina Whittam, Claire Hockey, Neil Gray, Uncle Bulgaria, but Uncle Tom Cobley and all I was going to say there. And look there, big hypocrite. This woman. I don't know if they're going to mention this, but I'm going to tell you now. This woman went to Inverness. She took the train to Inverness. I'm sure it was Inverness. I haven't said it there. She took the train to Inverness, but wanted to drive around Inverness. So she got the governmental car to drive from Edinburgh up to Inverness to meet her as she came off the train, drive her around Inverness. She got back on the train and came home, and the driver had to come home alone at great expense. Why didn't she just hire a car up there? Now, I'll give her a due. She took the train to Inverness, but that's no good if you're getting a car driving all the way up there anyway. You'd have saved money by taking the bloody car. Silly old cow. Anyway, Scottish Greens co-leader Lorna Slater has also become infamous for her use of ministerial limos to travel about Scotland, despite her party being anti-cars and pushing that agenda. She hiked lifts to Aberdeen and Mallaig. A Scottish government spokesman said, travel is an essential part of... No, it was Aberdeen she went round, but she got the car up there, that's right. She took the train to Aberdeen, but the car had to drive there to drive her around Aberdeen, not Inverness. My apologies. A Scottish government spokesman said, travel is an essential part of government business. That's fine, if it's government business. Ministers take their responsibility to travel sustainably very seriously. No, they don't. And they aim to use more sustainable forms of transport wherever possible. Again, no, they don't. Otherwise, they'd be using trains everywhere. And they wouldn't need to fly business class for the 45 minutes they're in the air flying between Glasgow and London. Ministers are entitled to use the government car service, which provides a secure environment to conduct sensitive government business for all journeys which have as their principal purpose the performance of their ministerial duties. Going home from work, going to work, and going down the pub do not count. They are all absolutely hypocritical tossers. This one telling us we mustn't use the car, and is one of the biggest car users of them all. That's when she's not hiring very expensive private yachts. And I round off and come up. There you go, bunch of hypocritical tossers. They sit there and they pontificate about how awful we are because we dare to use our car, and they are the biggest users of them all. And there's no reason for most of these journeys. It's just that they want to feel special because they want to feel like they're royalty, and they don't want to mix with us because they're better than us. No, they're bloody not. Anyway, quite uppity there. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see in here on the channel, do please hit the subscribe button. And really do, if you're one of the regulars, about 60% of you, 65% of you regular viewers who haven't yet subscribed, do please subscribe. If you're watching the channel anyway regularly, hit the subscribe button. First of all, because it's political, you might not get some of them because they don't push too many political ones. But also, it widens the base for the algorithm. It means more people get out there and hit and see the truth. So do please, do help, because I do work hard on these. So do please hit that subscribe button. And for the rest of you, thank you very much for watching. If you like everything about the channel, I'm very glad. And if you've got to the end of this and you didn't like the video, thank you very much for watching it anyway. Until next time, stay safe, stay well, and remember, these people are all hypocritical, two-faced tosspots. Bye.